My name is James Lebeck, and this is entry 295 of the Life After Losses video blog titled Still Curious. Now, this is a place where I share my thoughts as a double widower on what I feel it means to build a meaningful life after loss. The other night, I watched a movie with a friend, and afterwards, he pointed out something I'd completely missed. I wasn't just a detail about the story, it was a reminder that sometimes the most valuable part of an experience isn't what we see ourselves, but what someone else helps us see. Now, it made me think about curiosity, about how easy it is to believe that we've already figured out everything that we like, what interests us, and who we are. But maybe one of the best parts about growing older is discovering that there's still plenty of surprise left. So when we're done with this, I would love to know, when was the last time someone helped you see something in a completely new way? So the other night, I was with a friend watching a horror movie. Now, if you've known me for a while, that might sound a little bit surprising because it's not that I've ever disliked horror movies. They have never really been my first choice. Someone else wanted to watch one, sure. But left to my own devices, I probably would have picked something else entirely. Now, this time was different. We were watching a movie I won't name because, no spoilers. And at one point, a character mentioned the Greek myth of Sisyphus, the man condemned to spend eternity pushing a boulder uphill after cheating death. Now, I heard it, thought it was interesting, and the movie just kept moving along. But after the film ended, my friend looked over and asked, "Did you catch why they used that myth?" And I admitted I hadn't. He explained that the character in the movie had cheated death too, and suddenly that passing reference wasn't just an interesting line of dialogue anymore. It was yet another layer of the story, a clue, something that deepened everything else happening around it. We had watched the same film, but we'd seen two very different things. And that kind of stayed with me, not because I suddenly became a horror movie enthusiast, but because I realized that for a little while, I'd been seeing the film through someone else's eyes. And that turned out to be a much more interesting experience than just watching it through my own. I'm thinking about a lot of that lately. Over the last few years, one of the unexpected gifts of some of the friendships I built has been discovering how enjoyable it is to experience someone else's enthusiasm up close. Now, there's something genuinely contagious about real passion. Spend enough time with someone who truly loves something, and eventually you stop asking, why do they like this? And you start wondering, what are they seeing that I've never noticed before? And that's a very different question. It leads somewhere much more interesting to me. It's happened with movies. It's been happening with video games too. And I'm not exactly playing them yet. And if you've ever seen me with anything more than complicated than a Wii controller, you probably understand why. But I've spent time watching, asking questions, and trying to understand what people actually enjoy about these particular games. So compared to the Atari joystick I grew up with, it's a completely different world. And I'm finding that genuinely I enjoy learning about it. Not because I needed a new hobby, but because somewhere along the way, I became less interested in deciding whether something was for me and a lot more interested in understanding why it mattered to someone else. And it turns out that's a surprisingly good way to learn. Not just about movies or games, but about people. I think that's one of the benefits of getting older that we don't really talk about. When you're young, curiosity comes naturally because almost everything is new. And as life becomes more familiar, we find the restaurants we like. We enjoy the music that we like. We know the books that we want to read, the routines that fit us. And without really noticing it, we start believing we've already figured ourselves out. We tell ourselves, this is who I am. These are the things I like. Those are the things I don't. And the list hardened somewhere along the way, and we stopped questioning it. I don't think that's really about age. I think that's more about familiarity. Familiarity has a way of convincing us that we've already explored enough, that the decisions were made back there somewhere, we're just living them out now. But every now and then, someone comes along who invites us to look again. Not because they're trying to change our minds, simply because they're sharing something they genuinely love. And if we're willing to borrow their perspective for a little while, what sometimes changes isn't our opinion of the thing itself, it's our understanding of the person sitting beside us. And sometimes it's even our understanding of ourselves. The funny thing is, I still don't particularly love slasher movies. I'm probably not going to become a competitive gamer anytime soon. That was really never the point. The point is that I've started asking a different question. Instead of, is this for me? I've started asking, what am I missing? Those two questions lead to very different places in life. One closes a door before you've even looked through it, and the other leaves room to be surprised. Now, looking back, I don't know whether that particular film will ever make it onto my list of favorites. That's not what I took away from that evening. What stayed with me was how much richer things became when willing to see the world through someone else's eyes for just a little while. Even just long enough to catch something we would have walked right past on our own. I spent a lot of years thinking wisdom comes from collecting experiences. And lately, I'm starting to think it also comes from staying curious about other people's experiences and being open to experiencing the world through other people. Because every once in a while, if we're willing to look through someone else's lens, we don't just discover something new about them, we discover there's still something new to learn about ourselves. So now it's your turn. This week, let's give some thought and some pause and think about something that you've always said wasn't really your thing. Where did that opinion actually come from? And have you revisited it recently? And have you been just carrying it around to the old conclusion? Maybe the invitation isn't to change your mind. Maybe it's just to spend a little more time seeing the world through someone else's eyes. You never know what part of yourself might be waiting there. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching.